From Millett Hall, Glenn Box coaching his first game in conference play for the Miami women as the men opened up conference play yesterday. The Red Hawk women take to the hardwood here at Millett this evening. It will be a tough task lined up in front of the Red Hawks as they will take on defending champion Toledo to open up conference play here from Oxford. Luke Westpoli with you here tonight on Red Hawk Radio. Miami coming in 2-8 through non-conference play. They haven't played here at Millett Hall a whole lot through the early part of the season. They've played just 3 home games so far, 1-2 in this building this season. For Toledo, it's a team that has started off just as well as they usually do under 16th-year head coach Tricia Cullup. They were an NCAA tournament team last year, made the second round of the tournament after an upset over 5th-seeded Iowa State in the first round before eventually going out to number 4 Tennessee. The Rockets last season 29-5, 16-2 in the MAC, and both regular season and tournament champions in this conference. They will begin their charge for yet another conference title here this evening from Oxford. Toledo 7-3 on the season, coming off a 94-52 win against Hillsdale back on December 30th. For Miami, this is their first game as well of the new year in 2024, as the Red Hawks' last game on December 30th was a 53-44 loss on the road against the Governors of Austin Peay. Starting lineups here from Millett Hall for the Red Hawks. Glenn Box going with Lucretia Edwards, Jaden Scott, Jada Scott, Amber Treader, and Nuria Herho to begin for this team. Lineup that's remained somewhat similar over the last 7 games of the season or so after a little bit of shuffling earlier on. For Toledo, crucially, they are without last season's MAC Player of the Year, Quenisha Lockett, who has not played since December 17th when she had a season low in minutes against Oakland, was injured in that game. She has remained out and is out once again here tonight. So the Rockets will go with Nan Garcia, Sophia Wired, Kira Gose, Emmy Renat, and Sammy Mikonowitz as their starting 5 here on the road. Toledo 2-2 away from home this season. Miami 1-2 here at Millett Hall with the lone win coming against the local rival Xavier Musketeers in overtime. The Red Hawks have played a couple of overtime games this season and have come away with a couple of wins, beating both Xavier and Oakland in an extra period. Those are both the wins that the Red Hawks have coming into this one on the year. Toledo in the road blue uniforms with the yellow Toledo text on the front and white numbers with yellow trim on the front and back. They've got yellow accents along the sides and bottom of the shorts with a yellow name and a rocket on the top part of the back of the uniform. For Miami, they've got the home whites on. Miami in script across the front with the red numbers on the front and back, the name along the bottom of the number on the back, and on top of the number, a red M in the center of the back. Miami moves left to right, Toledo right to left here in the opening quarter of play from Millett Hall. Toledo's brought a pretty good road crowd, as the Rockets generally do here to Millett. The Miami faithful rise to their feet, awaiting the first Red Hawk basket. Waiting on the tip-off here from Millett. Ball up in the air. It's won by Jaden Scott of Miami, and we are underway. Off we go here in 2024 for the Miami women in conference play. Scott has it near side of the paint for the Red Hawks. She'll slash towards the MAC logo, pivoting around just outside the paint. Will fire off at 2 and connects. Jaden Scott, 12.6 a game coming into this one. The Cincinnati transfer has the Red Hawks in front 2-0, just under 30 seconds gone by. Mikonowitz to the near side for Wired for the Rockets. Toledo 4th in the conference in points per game. A foul will be called on Miami's Jada Scott, who ran Sophia Wired all the way out near half court. And that will give the Rockets a fresh 20 seconds on the shot clock. First foul on either team as it's put back in for Toledo. Wired, 2-time All-MAC selection, finds Renata on the near side, but the pass is batted away by Scott. She leads her sister up ahead. Jaden Scott to the rack, with the lay and in 4-2. 4-0 Redhawks here, less than a minute in. Lofted over to the far side for Toledo. Emi Renat, former member of the Israeli senior national team, has it at the right elbow, bounces to the far side. It's another turnover for the Rockets as it missed the intended target, and it's taken up the floor by Herho. Now Scott slashing into the paint once again, floats it up with the right hand, missed everything, and it's picked out of the air for Toledo by Nan Garcia. Former Penn State Nittany Lion pushes forward for Wired. She loses it in the paint. It's another Rocket turnover, their third in as many possessions. Herho across the timeline on the left wing for Miami. Now Lucretia Edwards drives in and pulls back out. Scott down the right lane, gets it back out for Treader on the right side. Threw it off the leg of Emi Renat out of bounds. It'll stay with the Redhawks with 16 to shoot. 8:22 left in the opening quarter, and it's 4-0 Redhawks. Toledo comes in as one of the MAC's best defensive teams, allowing just 61 points per game. Miami's had their way with them, though, so far. Edwards struggling to get this inbound in, finally finds Treader on the near wing. Now Jada Scott, right side elbow. She got stuffed by Novoroski, who stayed straight up. Wired takes it up the floor and crosses the timeline on the right wing. Renat now on the left flank. Throws her hands up in confusion. It's around the horn of the far side for Wired once again. Now inside. A quick double comes for Miami defensively, and Herho gets the steal. Toledo with 4 possessions and 4 turnovers so far. Herho up for Treader straight away. Finds Herho once again on the right wing. 4-0 Redhawks. Post-entry pass for Treader. The freshman out of Indiana, pivoting around just outside the paint, loses her footing, able to find Scott, who deflects it back outside the arc and scoops it off the deck. 5 left on the shot clock. It's Herho from the logo. She'll step back and trigger a 3. Hits off the front of the rim, no good, and the rebound pulled away by Novoroski for the Rockets. MAC's 6th player of the year back 2 years ago, missed last season for injury. Toledo back onto the offensive end. It's Minkowitz over to the far side for Wired. Near wing now Goss with the 3 and the bury. Toledo sitting 11th out of 12 in three-point shooting in the MAC. That is not their game, but that's how they get going here following 4 turnovers to begin. And it's 4-3 Miami, just over 3 minutes gone. Jada Scott up top, and we got a foul away from the ball inside. Amber Treader drew it for Miami. It is on Sammy McConowitz for the Rockets. Katie Richardson coming on for the Redhawks, and Soleil Barnes checking in for Toledo. Miami takes off Jaden Scott. Herho gets the inbound, backing in, short of the paint, looking for an option inside. Her pass is batted away. Goss running the floor, down the right lane, lost the ball, and it's picked up for the Redhawks by Edwards. Trisha Cullup is very frustrated on the Toledo bench. Now a contested 3 taken early, and the shot clock by Edwards is too strong. Offensive board, Scott back into the paint she goes, throws it off the underside of the rim, and it's out of bounds. And it looks as though it will stay with Miami here. And indeed, it will stay with the Redhawks as 6:22 remains in our first quarter. It's 4-3 Miami. Lucretia Edwards finds Scott with the floater on the left side. She's fouled as it rolls off the rim. Foul is on Soleil Barnes, who gets her first. That's the second team foul in Toledo. 6:21 left in the first quarter. Jaden Scott to the free throw line for Miami. Miami leading by 1. Scott's first free throw up in the air, and it rolls over the rim and in. She's 71% on the season for Miami team. That's 65% as a team. That sets them 11th in the MAC out of 12. Scott's second free throw swishes through. 6-3 Miami, 6:19 to go first quarter. Wired across half court on the left wing. Around to the far wing. Now a quick post entry pass was nearly turned over. Wired got to it though before crossing the baseline. Now up top, a post entry feed. And finding her way through, Novoroski threads the needle and puts it off the glass and in for two. So Toledo with an answer. Still a 1-point game with Miami leading. We've crossed the 4-minute mark of the first quarter. Scott up top for Edwards. Pumps the three. Over to the far wing for Herho. Bounced into the post. Treader with the left hand. It got hauled away. And a tie-up and a jump ball will give it to the Rockets. Jaden Scott back on to replace Amber Treader. 5:43 left to go first quarter, and Miami in front by 1. Redhawks have forced 5 Rocket turnovers, but shooting just 2 for 8 from the field. Toledo is perfect, but only had the chance to put up 2 shots. Wired, right side, down the lane with a burst of speed, puts it high off the glass, won't go. Offensive rebound, Novoroski with the cleanup. Novoroski only averages 5.6 a game, season high 10 points last time out against Hillsdale. She's got 2 buckets so far, and Toledo's got their first lead at 7-6. Jada Scott, right side of the key, to the far wing for Richardson, and now Edwards behind the back on the dribble, steps back at the elbow, pushes it back out for Herho. 6 to shoot. Herho down the left side, out for Richardson, mid-range J, and she knocks it down. Katie Richardson with her first bucket. And Miami back in the lead. Lofted inside, a deflection away from Novoroski, and it'll go back to the Redhawks here as Toledo commits yet another turnover, and that takes us to immediate timeout. 4:47 to go here in the opening quarter, and it's a Glenn Box trademark defensive game so far for Miami. They lead Toledo 8-7. We're back to Millett Hall after this. You're listening to Miami Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. 4:47 to go here in the first quarter, and Miami leads Toledo 8-7 here in the MAC opener. The Redhawks hosting the defending champions of this conference, as Toledo comes in with a record of 7-3, looking to add another MAC championship to the ledger. Miami with it coming out of the media timeout, fresh off forcing Toledo's 6th turnover of the opening minutes. Richardson with a long two. That air ball is short, and the ball pulled off the ground by Emmy Renat for the Rockets. Wired lifts it ahead for Novoroski, wide open on the right side, and she'll finish at the cup. Toledo back in the lead, 9-8 with 4:17 to go in the first. Corey Lard with a hop step across the timeline. JUCO transfer from Barton Community College. Straight away, Maddie Hoon, the freshman from Carlsbad, California. Post insertion for Jaden Scott. Mows over her defender, and it's an offensive foul on the Redhawks. Sammy McConowitz with the foul draw. Goes against Jaden Scott. Toledo with the ball and the lead for the first time. Down low, Novoroski traveled, and back it goes to Miami. Miami in the red in terms of turnover margin, forcing about 15 per game, while committing close to 20, but it has been the reverse of that so far with 7 Rocket giveaways. Maddie Hoon on the near flank, up top for Corey Lard. Now to Hoon again on the near side. She'll fire off a 3, and she hits. Maddie Hoon with the 3. That's Miami's first make after missing their first 2, and the Redhawks lead by a pair with 3:22 to go in the first quarter, 11-9. Wired on the near wing. Holding the ball against her right hip. Short pass for Goss straight away. Heads right of the key. Back for Wired on the near side. Now McConowitz with a 3 the other way, and she hits that as well. Sammy McConowitz just 22% from deep. Rockets, though, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc, and they retake the lead at 12-11 with 2:53 to go in the first. Lard, post entry for Scott. Backs her way in. MAC logo jumper falls. Jaden Scott with 2 buckets here early on. It's Miami 13, Toledo 12 with 2.5 to play in the first. Sophia Wired calls a play from up top at the logo. Renat on the near wing. Spins left of the paint, pivoting. Now bounces in for McConowitz, who is cutting. Ball is loose on the floor. It's a tie-up and a jump ball. The arrow in favor of the Redhawks. So it will go back to Miami here with a 1-point lead. 2:20 to go in the first quarter. And the Redhawks leading at 13-12. Lard again with the hop step as she crosses the timeline. Now on the far wing, this is Jada Scott. Jaden and Jada exchange, and now a long 2 taken by Jaden. That clatters off the rim, and the rebound hauled down by McConowitz for the Rockets. Quickly ahead, Goss a transition 3 from the near corner. That's off target, and on the rebound, it's deflected out, and it's off Miami as it was stripped away from Scott and got her on the leg on the way out, and so the Rockets will get it back here. Officials are going to discuss. The call right now is that Miami never established full possession. Glenn Box doesn't like the call, but it will stay with Toledo. And since the Redhawks did not establish full possession of the ball on the way down and Scott didn't secure it enough, the shot clock won't fully reset. It just goes to 20. Inbound goes to Goss. She gets trapped, nearly turned it over, just throws it forward. Wired tracks it down. She's trying to rip it away. Ball pried free on the floor, and Richardson comes away with it for Miami. Now Lard jukes to the hoop, tried to send it to the near side where Scott was waiting on that. but she was fouled underneath the basket. That's on Renat. She gets her first. Maria Herho will provide the inbound. 13-12 the Miami lead with 1:37 to go in the opening quarter. Catch and shoot long two, and it's buried by Maddie Hoon. Maddie Hoon was 0 for 5 from the field last game against Austin Peay. Did have a season high 4 assists, but able to find the score sheet a couple of times in this one, up to 5 points, and the Redhawks lead by 3. Renat on the near wing, outside the arc, overhead pass, right of the key. A three taken, a foul, and the connection for Wired. So Miami, who was so good defensively throughout that first quarter with just one breakdown, Wired held that for a long time, didn't want to shoot it, but finally just decided that was best, drew the foul, clattered it in off the back of the rim, and has a chance for the 4-point play at the free throw line, which would give Toledo the lead. As we stand, 1:11 left in the first, and we're tied at 15 aside. Yanaya Curry and Soleil Barnes coming on for the Rockets. Barnes has not played much this year. First game of the season was last game against Hillsdale. Free throw is hit by Wired. Now Toledo trapping, but Miami expertly able to get through it. Herho kicks into the corner. Scott open for three. Rattles, won't drop. Rebound fought for. Rockets come away with it by way of Barnes, and she's fouled on her way up the floor. Jada Scott called for the foul for the Redhawks. Glenn Box is just kind of giving her the stare down right now. 58.2 seconds left in the first quarter, and it's Toledo 16, Miami 15. Toledo has never had a lead larger than a point. Renat on the near wing, into the corner. Barnes with the triple. Missed it way long. And Lard grabs it for Miami. Shot and game clock separated by 17 seconds as she crosses the timeline on the right wing. Lard bursts down to the right side, gets to the baseline, and flings it back out. Herho straight away. Barcelona, Spain native, crossover on the dribble now on the left side. Up top for Richardson. Thought about the shot. Instead, it's Lard. Post entry for Treader. Looking for an option, and she throws it away. Cadence Dykstra taking it the opposite direction for Toledo. Gets to the right side, try to kick it back out. It's deflected, loose on the floor, and the Redhawks come out with it. Another Rocket turnover there, 10th. 8 seconds remain in the quarter. Lard, sitting outside the arc, comes off a screen, gets through, steps back, puts it up at the buzzer, and it falls off the front of the rim. And that is how the first quarter comes to an end. Well, this Miami team fought pretty hard, and they led for most of that first quarter against the defending MAC champions, but Toledo grabs the lead right before the break. And after 10 minutes of play here from Millett Hall, it's Toledo 16 and Miami 15. We'll step aside and be back shortly with you here from Oxford after one quarter of play here from Millett Hall. The Rockets lead by 1. You're listening to Miami Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. All set for the second quarter here from Millett Hall. Toledo leading Miami 16-15 in the Mid-American Conference opener after one quarter. Rockets with possession moving right to left to begin quarter number two. It's Wired on the near side, puts up a three, and got it. Wired had the big 4-point play in the first quarter that shifted the tides in Toledo's favor. That's her second tray, and the Rockets have their first lead larger than a point. Treader tried to feed it into the post, and it was knocked away. Redhawks get a lucky break as Nan Garcia went after it and deflected it out of bounds. It'll stay with Miami with 17 left to shoot. Toledo committed 10 turnovers in that first quarter. It shot the ball better than Miami that allowed them to have the lead. Edwards for three from the near side. In and out. Rebound was grabbed by Treader, and she is fouled. Kira Goss called for the foul. And so Miami will keep it here. Ball is put in play by the Redhawks' Lucretia Edwards and just knocked out of bounds again. And so they'll do it again on the inbound. Miami got a real bailout from that foul. That was probably tracking out of bounds to go back to Toledo before that foul on Treader moments ago. Urho steps by the defender. Now a second, gets down low, and Garcia swats her from behind. Miami has had nothing in the paint so far in this game. Toledo's got a lot of size advantage down low. They scored 50 points in the paint against Hillsdale in their last game on December 30th. 11 left to shoot. Miami still with it. Edwards on the near side bounces into the post. Richardson puts a shoulder in, tries to duck underneath, and it's an offensive foul as she rolled down Garcia. So Toledo leading by 4 here with 9:08 to go in the second. Wired to the left side of the key for Garcia. Now it's Wired back again on the right. Garcia for three from the left wing. Off the heel, rebound tapped up in the air, and a foul on the Redhawks. It'll go against Treader as Nikonowitz went up for that rebound, was able to get her hand on it and slap it outside, and then she took a hard fall. She's back to her feet. Toledo inbounding from the far side baseline. Wired took a while to get it in the nick of time, able to get it out. Goss from the near wing makes her way in, stopped short of the paint, kicks back outside. Wired accelerates to the MAC logo, leaves it off for Garcia. 9 to shoot. Garcia got blocked, and it's out of bounds off Miami with 6 left on the shot clock. 8:42 left in the second quarter, and the Rockets leading by 4. We'll have to get something quick here. Toledo shooting 58% from the field. It's lofted in way outside the arc. Renat over to the far wing. Weird gets inside, puts it up at the buzzer, and it's out of bounds after the shot was missed. And so it won't be a shot clock violation, but it will go back to Miami as the Redhawks get a defensive stop. Toledo on a 7-0 run right now. Redhawks haven't scored in over 3 minutes. Richardson from the baseline, backs in, swirls, puts it up with the right hand. It's short, gets her own rebound. Second effort, got it off the glass. Richardson puts Miami within 2. She's got 4 points so far, 19-17 with 8:04 to go in the second quarter. Garcia from just inside the arc, native of Jeffersonville, Indiana. Hasn't played a whole lot, started the last game against Hillsdale. Overhead pass into the far corner. Renat, burst of speed, tried to give it back to Garcia. She deflected it. Nikonowitz gets to it. Back out now, a three put up by Goss. Off the heel, high in the air, soaring for the rebound. It's pulled down by the Rockets. Nikonowitz, extra pass to the near corner for Goss. Another three. That falls short. And the fight for the rebound is won by Treader. Some physicality, but Treader able to outlet for Herho, who crosses the timeline on the right wing. Floated up into the paint, bottom of the MAC logo. Richardson ducks underneath and finishes with the right hand. So Miami maybe figuring things out a little bit in the paint. Katie Richardson up to 6 points, and we're tied at 19 with 7:11 to go in the second. Long pass across the court, finds Wired, slips through, gets to the paint, puts up a floater that's off the heel. Rebound by Richardson for the Redhawks. Miami with a chance to take their first lead in a few minutes. Down low, Treader wide open, fakes the defender out, and scores from the left side. Timeout Rockets, and Trisha Cullup will rally her team with a 30-second timeout, her first called of the half. And Miami with a strong sequence, especially on the offensive end. A 6-0 run following over 3 minutes of scoreless basketball for the Redhawks. And they are back in the lead by 2. 21-19, the score with the Redhawks in front with 6:55 left to go in the second quarter. Miami's really spreading the wealth right now. Katie Richardson's got 6 points, but Maddie Hoon's got 5. And both Scott sisters have 4. In total, 5 Redhawks have found the scoreboard. Against Austin Peay, only 6 players scored for Miami. Edwards, Treader, Scott, Richardson, Lard, and Scott were the 6 for the Redhawks. They've already got 5 on the board here. Still about 7 minutes to go in the opening half. For Toledo, Wired and Navarowski leading. Wired's got 7 to lead the charge for the Rockets, and 3 assists to go along with it. Navarowski with 3 rebounds to go with her 6 points. She's also 3 for 3 from the field. Toledo, meanwhile, has not scored now in nearly 3 minutes, and they're 1 for their last 8 from the field after a very strong start. They're 1 for 7 here in the second quarter. Trisha Cullup, former head coach of the Purple Aces of Evansville, has built a winning program over the last 16 seasons. And she is in Toledo to stay for a long time. Contract that she's on currently has her locked up through 2030. Already in her 16th season coaching this Rocket team. Will likely stay there for a long time, already has. Likely could have taken some larger jobs with how quickly she was able to come in and win with this Toledo program. She's done it pretty much throughout her tenure. Instead of leaving after a few years and building a successful program, potentially for the Power 5 ranks, is elected to stay and develop something of a MAC dynasty with this program. Lost just 2 games in conference play last season. They've won 29 games each of the last 2 years. So the Rockets down 2 with 6:55 remaining in our second quarter. And they will move it right to left coming out of the timeout. Sophia Wired, 5th year from Muskegon, Michigan, who's had 20 points in each of the last 2 games, brings it ahead. Wired from the key, Herho guarding her. Wired steps it back behind the back on the dribble, slung around to the near side for Renat. Renat inside for Navarowski. Cross-court feed for Wired. Gets to the right elbow. Pulls up from there. It rattles off the rim. And the rebound pulled down by Amber Treader for the Redhawks. Hoon across the timeline, straight down the middle. Finds Herho on the far side. Herho now crosses to the near wing. And it's Hoon again across for Edwards, left side of the key. Fakes the up for 3 and brings it back down. Treader from the left post. Turnaround, wild shot. Rolls off the front of the rim and running into it in space. Wired gets the rebound and heads up the floor. Across the timeline on the left wing. Wired takes the 3 and hits it. Every time Wired's been left open, she's taken it from deep. She's 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. 0 for 4 inside. But it's good enough for 10 points right now to lead the way for the Rockets. And they're back in front by 1, 22-21 with 5:42 remaining in the second. Richardson, meanwhile, takes a right wing shot. Toe might have been on the line there, doesn't matter. It's short, and the rebound by Wired for the Rockets. Extra pass, right wing three now for Makonowitz, and that falls. Toledo opens up a 4-point lead thanks to a couple of triples. Once again, not their game. They shoot just 28% as a team. Sits them second to last in the MAC. But the threes have been falling in this one. They're 6 for 10. 25-21 Rockets. Herho down low. First attempt wouldn't go. Put back Richardson. It falls, and the foul. Well, Miami really needed that from Katie Richardson, as she's now up to 8 points, a chance to make it 9 at the line. Her season high is 11. That came against Xavier. Started the first 3 games of the season. She's come off the bench. Also has missed a few games. Free throw pops in and out. Rebound by Wired, coast to coast. Throws it over Richardson, and it's good. 27-23, the Rocket lead as we pass the halfway mark of quarter number 2. Hoon around for Edwards on the left side. Former BioSteel All-Canadian selection. Treader looking for Richardson, batted away. Ball is loose on the floor. It rolls out of bounds into the Rocket bench. And it will go to Toledo. And Glenn Box is furious with the official on the far side. Get a stoppage for Hannah Novoroski to tie her shoe, as Toledo will now bring it back in. 27-23 Rockets with 4.5 to go in half number 1. Wired behind the back on the dribble. Stops, now accelerates. Puts it back up top for Makonowitz. 3 in the air, missed it left. Rebound tapped down on the ground and out of bounds to Miami. So after a cold stretch, Rockets heated up a little bit. And it's Toledo by 4 with 4:08 left in the half. Richardson just inside the arc straight away. Up for Treader on the right side. Now Herho. Top of the key. Dribbling between the legs with 6 to shoot. Herho bursts down the left side. Back out for Richardson. Foot's on the line, but she buries it anyway. It's a 2 by an inch for Katie Richardson. Miami back within a pair. 27-25 the Rocket lead. Pass inside, and Novoroski gets fouled. The Redhawks have fully surrounded her every time she's touched the basketball since the opening couple of minutes when she torched the Redhawks with a couple of baskets. Every time she touches it, there's a trio of Redhawks that form a circle around her. This time she gets fouled. Inbound goes to her. She hands it right back to Wired. Slashes into the paint from the nail. Kicks back outside for Makonowitz. Bounce down low for Novoroski. Surrounded. Novoroski able to get it back outside for Wired. Wired drives baseline with 8 to shoot. Into the corner. Makonowitz for 3. Too strong. Put back attempt falls way short for Novoroski. Second try. Catches the bottom of the strings but doesn't get to the height of the rim. And Miami's got it. Headed the other way. Transition 3 for Edwards. Off the heel. Rebound popped up in the air and grabbed by Wired going coast to coast. She lost control of it. Edwards nearly took it away, but somehow Wired got it back and draws the foul. Wow, that was an athletic play from coast to coast for Sophia Wired. Looked like she was going to have to battle for that rebound. Instead, she just whacked it up in the air and then grabbed it on the other side of half court. Took it the distance, nearly lost it, was running, her body was out of bounds. She didn't touch the basketball, then reestablished in the court. Was able to get it away from Lucretia Edwards and draw the foul. Now she'll go to the free throw line. Wired's first free throw rolls over the front of the rim and in. She's 85% on the year. That's the best mark on this Rockets team. Second free throw rolls off. And the rebound by Katie Richardson for Miami. Toledo into the bonus now with the next Red Hawk foul. 28-25, the Rocket lead with 2:52 to go in the half. Pass down low is ripped away by the Rockets. That was through all sorts of traffic. Renat up for Garcia, thought about the three. Now Mekanowicz doesn't take from straight away. Instead, she'll back it to the logo for Sophia Wired. 13 points for her so far. 12 left on the shot clock. Wired behind the back on the dribble over for Mekanowicz. Step back, thought about the three twice, now pulls back down. Garcia from the right side finds Renat. Touch and go shot is too strong. And the rebound picked up by Lard for the Redhawks. But a stutter on the dribble, and it's a turnover for Miami. The double dribble committed by the Redhawks. And it will go back to the Rockets with 2:18 left in the second. Wired, cuts to the nail, hands back for Garcia, grabs it again. Barnes on the near wing, steps back, fires the tray. Missed to the left off the heel. Rebound by Herho for Miami. Under 2 minutes to play in the half, 28-25 Rockets. Herho from straight away. Dribbling between the left and right hands. Redhawks take 15 off the shot clock, and now trying to go to work is Herho to the near side. 10 left to shoot. Bounced into the left elbow for Richardson. Back out for Herho with 5. Bounce now in for Treader. Knocks the defender over and got it to go with 2 hands. So no foul called, and Amber Treader's got her second bucket. Herho picks up her 5th helper, and Toledo leads by 1 with 1:21 to go in the half. Renat to the near wing. Mekanowicz open for 3 and missed the mark. Rebound by a couple of Redhawks. Finally, it's pulled away by Richardson for Miami, who leads Herho across the timeline on the right wing. Treader heels on the logo. Cross for Lard. 1:03 to go first half. Toledo by 1. Pass inside for Treader, got knocked away. She now will grab it again. Circles the defender, trying to go up and under, and she gets fouled. Treader just slowly and surgically worked her way through the maze down low. Found an inch of space. Looked like she had a pretty good look there, but at the last moment, Garcia kind of cut her off. Didn't really allow a good attempt at the basket, but fouled her in the process. Treader hits the first free throw. 71% shooter on the season from the stripe. Game tied at 28, and the second free throw is perfect to put the Redhawks back in front. Under a minute to play, 29-28 Redhawks here in our first half. Mekanowicz to the far wing for Barnes. Now a pass inside, knocked away, looking for Garcia, and the Redhawks have it once more. 12th turnover for Toledo. They slowed down in the second quarter after 10 in the first. Shot and game clock separated by 15 seconds. Richardson outside for Herho. Bounced up top for Treader. Around for Corey Lard. Lard for Richardson straight away, and now Herho on the near side with 10 to shoot. Crossover dribble down the right side, step back 2. Way short on the attempt. Garcia towing the line, grabs the rebound and stays in bounds. Shot clock is dark. Wired kicks into the corner. Renat for 3. Off the heel, long rebound picked up by the Rockets. Overhead pass, Renat gets another try from the near side. She won't miss twice. 1 second left, a heave at the buzzer, and it's way short. But a really tough way to end that first half for Miami, as they played a stout defensive 20 minutes of basketball, but give up a late triple to Emmy Renat after forcing a miss earlier on in the possession. It's a second chance point for the Rockets, and Toledo takes a 31-29 lead into the halftime break. Miami right now out shooting the Rockets from the field, 40% for the Redhawks, 39.3% for Toledo, and the Rockets committing 11 turnovers. Rebounds, if you could believe it, are even at 18, despite Miami having a pretty hefty size advantage, but the Rockets do have 6 offensive rebounds that have allowed for some second chance points that have not only kept them in the game, but given them the lead at the halftime break. So we will take a break here from Oxford and be back for the second half in just a little bit. Stay with us here on Red Hawk Radio. At halftime, our score, Toledo 31 and Miami 29. You're listening to Miami Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. Second half coming your way in just a bit. here at Millett Hall coming out of halftime with Toledo leading Miami 31-29. Luke Westpoli with you here from Oxford. Our next broadcast comes your way. It's Women's Hoops again a week from tonight, next Wednesday, as the women will be back here at Millett Hall taking on the Golden Flashes of Kent State. 7 o'clock start. Then we got a packed weekend coming up for you next weekend, as got hockey against Western Michigan on Friday night, and then a doubleheader with the Miami men taking on Eastern Michigan rather at 1 o'clock on Saturday, before the hockey team wraps up their series against Western Michigan on Saturday night at 7. Glenn Box's team came away with a very strong defensive effort in the opening 20 minutes, but allowed a late offensive rebound, and Toledo took advantage with a 3-point field goal from Emmy Renat, and that was what gave the Rockets the lead with just a couple of seconds left in the first half. Miami's got the arrows, so they will start off with possession here in half number 2. Red Hawks shooting 40% from the field, just 1 for 6 from 3. Toledo 11 for 28 and 7 for 16 from deep. It's been an uncharacteristically good day for the Rockets from beyond the arc, but it's been uncharacteristically poor from a rebounding and turnover standpoint for Toledo, a team that was picked to win the MAC, brought pretty much everybody back from a team that won the conference last season. Currently without MAC Player of the Year last year, Quenisha Lockett, who's been out since mid-December with injury. But the Rockets are managing just fine. Second half underway here from Oxford, and Miami moving right to left now. Amber Treader will get it back outside for Lucretia Edwards. Now Nadia Herho from the left angle extended, puts it in for Scott. She gets tied up, ball's on the ground, and a jump is called. It'll go to the Rockets after the arrow exchanged hands. And 25 seconds into the second half, Toledo gets a stop. For the vast majority of that first half, Toledo did not have a lead larger than 1. Miami led for most of that first half as the Rockets try to pass up top that gets deflected out of bounds. Rockets did get a late 3 that allowed them to open up a lead as large as 4, but Miami eventually tied it and took the lead before the Rockets grabbed it back before the break, and it now stands at 2. 40 seconds into this second half, from the nail, Garcia back out for Renat. Contested 3 put up, and it's short right and out of bounds off the rim, with the Rockets having the last touch. And the Redhawks will return to the offensive end. Still looking for our first points of the second half. Herho across the timeline on the right wing. Edwards slings for Scott left of the key. Jada Scott bounces inside for Jaden, and there was a foul before her turnaround shot. It's on Garcia. She picks up her second foul. Both teams did pretty well to limit fouling in the first half. Minute and 2 seconds gone, and Miami will inbound from the far baseline. Edwards nods her head, puts it in for Scott. It gets deflected, but she still finds it. Cuts across, hop step, turnaround fade from the MAC logo is in and out. And the rebound collected by Emmy Renat for the Rockets. Wired over to the far side for Renat, now Wired once again. It's around the horn to the near wing for Goss. Goss to Wired, overhead pass inside for McConowitz, and the up and under drops home. McConowitz up to 8 points. Toledo leading by 4, ties their largest of the game. Scott on the near side for Miami. Jada for Jaden, now floated in for Treader, who got free, and she lays it up and in with the right hand. Treader caught fire late in that first half and is now up to 8 points. 31-33, the Rocket lead. Garcia, turnaround, rolling on the right side of the rim, and it finds its way through. 35-31 now, the Rockets with the advantage, 2:07 into this second half. Treader Wings it to the far side for Edwards, native of Chilliwack, British Columbia. A couple of non-American players that Glenn Box has brought in. Scott for Edwards on the far side with 10 to shoot, just inside the arc. Back in for Scott. She's doubled, tried to back into the paint, couldn't. Hands off for Herho. One dribble with the left hand. Wild shot, but it falls in after a couple of bounces. Herho finally with her first bucket after 5 assists and 3 steals in that first half. 35-33, the Rockets in front, 7:11 to go in the third. Garcia with Scott on her, dumps it off for Wired on the near side. Overhead feed, extra pass into the corner for Renat. Her 3 put up, and it's short. Rebound by the Redhawks. Herho. Full burst of speed all the way to the other end, went coast to coast, but her lay was short. She fell on the rebound. Somehow it bounces back to her, and now it's tied up while she was on the ground. A jump ball is whistled with the Rockets getting their hands on it. Possession arrow in favor of Miami. Katie Richardson coming on for the Redhawks to take Amber Tretter's spot. Edwards inbounding from the near baseline. 20 on the shot clock, 6:49 in the game clock here in the third quarter. Toledo by 2. Quick inbound catch and shoot in traffic for Scott. Falls off the left of the rim. Rebound by Wired. From one coast to the other. Wired spins under the basket, fades away from 10 feet. Wedged it on the right side. Now it rolls off of the offensive rebound by Novoroski, and she'll clean up the loose change. Novoroski at 6'5" with a huge height advantage down low. Toledo really used that well in the opening minutes, but Miami was able to avoid it for the last 15 minutes or so of that first half. Scott back out for Herho. Bullet pass inside. Richardson wide open, and that's an easy 2. These teams continuing to trade buckets. 37-35 the Rocket lead as we approach the 4-minute mark of the second half. Barnes holding overhead. Finds Novoroski left elbow. Back out for Wired. Wired works her way in to the nail. Now the MAC logo. Hands it off. Novoroski's wide open on the left side. She'll lay it in. Redhawks went to double Wired, and that left Novoroski wide open. Wired able to get around the double team with the pass. And that freed up her teammate for the easy lay. 39-35 Rockets in front. 5.5 to go third quarter. Jada Scott from up top. Circles halfway down, and she is tied up, and a jump ball will be called. Goes back to Toledo. There's been a lot of exchanging of the possession arrow here in the opening minutes. So that's the second jump ball call of this second half, not even 5 minutes through. .5:19 to go, third quarter. The Rockets move left to right. Emmy Renat slings for Barnes, now in the near flank. McConowitz holding, begins dribbling with the left hand. Works her way up top and pushes it right where she was. That spot now occupied by Renat. Renat feeds back for McConowitz. Put into the post for Novoroski. Back out, McConowitz with 5 to shoot. Airs out a 3. It's off the front of the rim. Rebound by Tretter for the Redhawks. Ahead for Herho. Stops short of the 3-point arc. Bounced in for Scott, and she let her too much. Scott deflects it out of bounds, and it goes back to the Rockets. It's remained close throughout. It's continued that way through the opening 5 and change of the third quarter. 4:47 to go in it, and it's Toledo 39 and Miami 35 from Millett Hall. We're back after this. Stay tuned. You're listening to Miami Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. 3:47 to go, third quarter here from Millett Hall. Quest Pulley with you on Red Hawk Radio. Toledo leads Miami 39-35. And it's Rocket basketball coming out of the timeout with a chance to extend to their largest lead of the game. Haven't led by more than 4. Two teams projected to finish on opposite ends of the MAC this season. Miami's put up a very good fight against the defending champs so far. Round of the far wing, it's Sammy McConowitz for the Rockets. In for Hannah Novoroski. Now Renat, the Rhode Island transfer, bouncing in for Novoroski down the left lane with no resistance, and she scores. Novoroski up to 12 points, and it's the Rockets by 6 with 4:12 to go in the third. Treader from the near wing. Up to the left side for Scott, just inside the arc. Just held it there for a while before outletting to Lard. Now it's Scott once again, jabbing. Does it twice. Dumps to Lard on the far side. 5 to shoot. Redhawks haven't done much. Finally, Scott just gets down the baseline and lays it up and under for 2. And Glenn Box calls timeout. So his team was a little out of sorts there offensively and got a bailout from Jaden Scott, who caught that ball in the corner. And he's got by the whole defense, circling for the up and under. Cuts the lead back to 4 here. 41-37 with 3:51 to go in quarter number 3. Lower bowl dotted with red and blue here on this Wednesday night. Miami men's team's in the house making some noise up in the upper parts of the low bowl behind us. Men's team had their MAC opener yesterday, falling to Western Michigan. They will be back at it against Toledo coming up on Friday, a nationally televised game this Friday night on the road. 7 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. Miami women will be back on Saturday as they will take the trip up north to Ypsilanti to take on Eastern Michigan. Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock, the start time. Or beg your pardon, they'll be at Northern Illinois on Saturday. As Toledo takes on Eastern coming up this weekend in a local rivalry game between two teams in the greater Northeast Ohio, Southeast Michigan area. So this lead is back down to 4 for Miami after they trailed by 6 just a moment ago. That was Miami's first time out, by the way, so they've still got 3 left. Toledo with the same. 3:51 to go in the third quarter. These two teams still doing an excellent job at not fouling. Toledo with 1 foul, Miami with none in this third quarter. This game has been very clean, very quick. It's featured pretty rock-solid defense. Both teams have shot the ball all right. Miami with a narrow rebounding lead right now, 22-21. But Toledo, for the better part of the last 10 minutes or so, has kept Miami at arm's length, within 1 or 2 possessions the whole time. It's Rocket ball out of the timeout. So Mia Wire dribbling waist high with the right hand across the timeline, right on the center court M here at Millett Hall. Swung to the far wing. Kira Gross, Indy native. Pumps, now drives baseline, leaves it off looking for Novoroski, but the ball was plucked away, loose on the floor. Another jump ball after the tie-up, and it's within possession of the Redhawks after they got the arrow back. That's another jump ball, called the third of this quarter. And so the Rockets will give the ball away. Miami with a chance to cut this back to one possession. Scott tried to insert that to the post, and Renat got it on the foot. It's a kick ball. Corey Lard on the inbound, slaps the basketball looking and finds Scott on the near side. Scott cuts into the left elbow, triggers with the right hand, airballed it short, and the rebound picked up by Mekonowitz, who hands for Lard for the Rockets. Mekonowitz to the right side. Now back up top for Wired. Novoroski holding. Wired takes a contested three, and it rattles in. Wired now 4 for 4 from beyond the arc to the tune of 16 points. Left alone, Maddie Hoon with a try from the right side, and she connects with the tray. So the Redhawks with an answer. It's back to a 4-point game. Wired once again, crossing back and forth on the right side. She'll settle. Mekonowitz back for Wired on the logo. 2:28 to go, third quarter, 44-40, the Rocket lead. Wired has a screen set for her, straight ahead, tried a bullet to the near side. It was batted away, but Goss finds the loose ball. Wired has it now with 8 to shoot, drives into the paint. It's plucked out from behind by Miami, and Lard knocks it out of bounds. Stays with Toledo. Maria Herho comes into the game. Quick catch and shoot after the inbound by Renat, but it rolled off the rim, and the Redhawks get the rebound. Lead pass. Herho ran into it in space. Now fires a three on the right corner, and she got it to go. Back to a 1-point game with under 2 to play in the third. Gose flips it into the post. Novoroski spins. Leaves it down on the floor for Mekonowitz. Kicks into the corner. Renat, extra pass. Goes for three. That drops home. It is raining hard here at the end of this third quarter. Rockets back out in front by 4. 47-43 with 1:32 to go in the third. Jada Scott for Miami to the near side for Herho. Tried to bounce into the post for Treader, but it was knocked away by the Rockets. Still with the Redhawks, 20 to shoot, 1:27 left in the third quarter. Toledo ahead by 4. Miami will rush up a sub as Lucretia Edwards will come in for Jada Scott. Edwards tried to pass that one into a bunch of blue bodies, and luckily for her, they knocked it out of bounds. So right back to her, just 1 second off the shot clock. Edwards needs to get this in and just fires in for Treader, who catches it on the near side. Treader bounced into the post for Scott. Poked away, she regathers, gets into the paint from the right side. The float shot doesn't fall, but she's fouled. Hannah Novoroski gets her first foul, second team foul on the Rockets. Miami still has not fouled in this third quarter. And that sends Scott to the free throw line. It's an unlucky roll on the first. She's a 67% shooter from the line this season. Transferring from Cincinnati, played 102 games over 4 years with the Bearcats. Second free throw put up, that's off the heel. 0 for 2 trip, Rockets by 4 with 1:12 to go in the third. They get the rebound and charge forward. Wired off the screen on the right side, behind the back on the dribble. Herho prying away at her. Wired fakes, gets to the cup, and gets the roll. Sophia Wired with just her second field goal from inside the three-point line. She has been dominant up to 18 points. And the Rockets lead it by 6. Shot and game clock separated by 26 seconds, 44 seconds left to play. Treader on the near side for Hoon. Left side of the paint, back up for Treader. Makes her way to the left elbow. Now the MAC logo. Scoop pass out. Scott pulls from the free throw line and knocks down the J. Scott for 2, 49-45 the score. Shot and game clock separated by about a second and a half now as a shot clock remains on with 20 seconds left in the third quarter. Wire dribbling with the right hand. Fires over to the far side for Makonowitz. Driving baseline, looking for an exterior option. Finds it via Goss. 3 in the air. Rattles off. Rebound tapped around. Put back. Novorosky. Who else with the finish? It rolls out the baseline, and Miami's just going to run out of time here. And as they did at the end of the second, a frustrating way to end the third as Miami gives up a second chance point. A lot of time coming off the clock with the ball out of play, and the Redhawks unable to get a shot at the buzzer. And after 3, Toledo in front by 6, 51-45. Well, the Redhawks haven't led in a little while, but they're still staying with it here from Millett Hall. Looking for a comeback in the final 10 minutes of play against the MAC favorite Toledo Rockets on the other side of our break. Final 10 minutes coming up. Stay with us. You're listening to Miami Basketball on Red Hawk Radio.
If you love me a little bit more, I can give you everything that you're praying for. Yeah, if you love me a little bit more, I can give you everything that you're praying for.
Fourth quarter all set to go here from Millett Hall, and the Miami women are hanging with the MAC's best. Toledo in front of Miami, 51-45, but the Redhawks have kept this close throughout. Toledo has led by as many as 7 points in this game, but the vast majority of this game has been played within 2 possessions, as it is right now. Toledo moves left to right in the fourth quarter, and their MAC opener looking to pick up a win in a conference that they won 16 games in last year en route to a tournament championship. Renat into the corner for Wired, near side Ghost fires off from the right elbow. That clatters off the rim, and Herho has the rebound for Miami. Scott ahead, back for Herho, who settles at the logo. Herho, Spanish freshman, crossing back and forth, now just steps back and throws up a 3 that hits off the right side of the rim, out of bounds, and after the deflection, it will go back to Toledo, and Glenn Box is none too happy with it. Glenn Box mandating that the 2 officials discuss, and they did discuss and reaffirm that it is Rocket ball 39 seconds into this fourth quarter. 6-point Rocket lead. Wired carrying it ahead 18 points, a game high. Left side, Emmy Renat flings it in. McConowitz got fouled hard and she goes down. She will go to the free throw line. Scott picks up her third. Conowitz, the free throw rattles through. 68% on the season. MAC All-Tournament team selection last year, was a double-digit scorer last season for the Rockets. And she hit them both. Miami brings on Katie Richardson. It's now an 8-point lead for the Rockets, their largest of the game. Maddie Hoon ahead for Richardson on the right side into the front court. Redhawks break the mini press that Toledo was running, and now it's Herho on the right side for Maddie Hoon. Scott to Herho on the near side with 10 to shoot. Into the low block, Richardson had it plucked away, and Garcia nearly went into the courtside seats. Scott gets it in for Herho. 5 left on the shot clock. Herho off a screen, accelerates down the left side, puts it up at the buzzer, and then is off the side of the backboard. A shot clock violation on Miami. Herho just had too much depth there. Got to a place where she couldn't even catch the rim. Was behind the backboard when she let go of that shot. So the Rockets with a chance to make this a double-digit game for the first time all night. Leading by 8 with 8:36 to go in the fourth. Wired flings it ahead. Across the timeline on the left wing. She has it back now straight away. Wired down the right side. Kicks into the corner. 3 up in the air for Goss. That rattles off. Rebound by Jada Scott for the Redhawks. Scott up ahead for Corey Lard. Lard. Fake the pass outside, gives in for Treader, pivots the feet with the left hand fired. That's off target. Fadeaway putback is good for Jaden Scott. Back to a 6-point game with 8 minutes to play. Redhawks pressing a little bit here. Toledo gets by it. Renat on the far wing. Up for Gus, and now Wired on the near side. At the nail, Renat turns it around into the far corner for Gus. Back up to the near side, Wired fakes the 3, slings it back out for Renat, straightaway triple, drops home. And nearly went up to the height of the scoreboard, but it drops through with no rim for Renat. And Toledo leads by 9 with 7:27 remaining. 56-47 Rockets. Jada Scott from the right elbow, turns and fires and connects. Scott just left alone, up to 6 points after the make. 56-49 the score, pass to the near side, and no real estate for Renat. She was leaning when she caught it and stepped out of bounds. And the Redhawks get it back with 7:09 left. Lard carrying ahead, around the horn of the near wing for Scott. Scott from the left elbow, pumps it in for Treader, completely surrounded. She tried to put up a shot, it fell well short as it was knocked away, and now a foul going the other way on Miami's Maddie Hoon. So Hoon picks up the foul in a game that she hasn't played maybe as much as she's used to. Only her second non-start of the season today for the freshman. Toledo's got it into the paint. McConowitz up and under try. She got fouled as the shot flung over top the rim. Lard gets the foul. Rockets by 7 with 6:39 to go in the fourth. And they are the max best free throw shooting team at 75%, with McConowitz little under team average at 68. Pierre on the first. Now 3 for 3 from the stripe on the game. As mentioned before, both of these teams have done a really good job at not fouling. Miami, though, up to 3 fouls now in this fourth quarter. Second free throw rattles off. No good for McConowitz. Rebound, Jaden Scott. Now Jada Scott from the near side. A flank three is too strong, but Treader was trying to get the rebound, and she got fouled. 2 Rockets were surrounding her and caught her in the lower body. So the Redhawks get a second chance at this possession, down 8 with 6:29 to go in the fourth. Edwards in for Scott. Cuts it across, pulls up from the elbow. That might have got tipped. It fell way short of the rim. Wired on the rebound. Around to the far wing, left all alone. Barnes for 3, short, gets her own rebound in the far side and puts it back up for Wired, who can reset. Barnes around for McConowitz. Now at the left elbow, Novoroski. Hands to Wired with 8 to shoot. Wired straight away to the far side. McConowitz plays catch, has it back, throws it up from 3 at the buzzer. It's off the mark. Barnes with an offensive rebound. Out for Renat. Back for Barnes on the near flank. And back up top for Wired as again the Rockets reset. 10 left on the shot clock after the 20-second reset. Wired between the legs on the dribble, over to the far side. Barnes contested triple taken off the heel, high in the air on the rebound. Edwards couldn't hold on, and again the Rockets have it. Shot clock back up to 20 seconds. Toledo's going to end up bleeding about a minute off the clock in this possession when things are all said and done. Pass down low for McConowitz. Can't get a shot away. Circling around, kicks back outside. Wired takes a contested 3. Short off the front of the rim. Another offensive rebound won't go. Second try, now a third. And finally, Novoroski gets fouled. Six offensive rebounds in that sequence for the Rockets. And at the end of it all, Hannah Novoroski ends up at the free throw line. Rebounding was an area that Miami done pretty well at today. But they lose a big sequence late, and Toledo's going to get some free points as a result as Novoroski hits the first free throw. Novoroski missed last year due to injury, was MAC's 6th player of the year back 2 years ago. Coming off a season-high 10 points. Second free throw off the heels, so Rockets come away with only 1 point on that possession, but they're up 9. 5:04 to go fourth quarter, 58-49, the Toledo lead. Herho dribbles between the legs, makes her way right of the key, finds Richardson up top. Now Edwards from the near side. Bounces in for Scott. Jaden Scott accelerates, gets down low, pulls up from the bottom of the MAC logo, can't get the bounce. Barnes rises for the rebound. Taken across the timeline on the right wing by Barnes. Now it's Wired, just bleeding clock away here for the Rockets. Wired from the near elbow extended. Renat pulls up from the left elbow now, in and out. Offensive rebound and putback won't go for Novoroski. Herho down the left side. Dumps out for Edwards, and now Richardson straight away. Miami trailing by 9. Contested tray put up there by Maddie Hoon. That's way long. And Toledo gets the board. Barnes gets by 1. Dumps back out, and the Rockets will kill more time. Toledo has been very methodical. They probably could have taken some points in transition and have elected not to in favor of killing more time off this clock. Pass inside, intercepted by Lucretia Edwards for Miami. Redhawks trail by 9 with under 4 to play. Scott gets to the baseline. Moser defender down. It's a blocking foul and 1 on the floater. Novoroski went down, was trying to draw the charge. She got called for the block, and she is down. And so that will send us to immediate timeout. So big momentum play for Miami, but the eyes right now on Hannah Novoroski, who's been a big force inside for the Rockets with 15 points. She is shaken up under the Red Hawk basket. 3:41 left to go, fourth quarter, 58-51. The Rocket lead over Miami. We're back after this here on Red Hawk Radio.
Taking control.
58-51 the score, with the Rockets in front of the Miami Redhawks here with 3:41 to go in the fourth quarter. Luke Westbulley with you here on Red Hawk Radio. Jaden Scott with the and one right before the timeout, and so she will shoot the extra free throw, looking for the three-point play here. And she's pure on the foul shot. Good news for the Rockets is that Hannah Novoroski was able to help herself up and get off the court under her own power after she was a little shaken up. Redhawks are pressing, nearly got to the Rockets, but Wired comes to the rescue. Gets it across the timeline, but it's stolen away by Miami, and now a lead pass forward is too long for Scott. Redhawks got a steal. We're trying to steal some free points quickly. And a pass that was just a little long there for Jada Scott in transition. We'll give it back to the Rockets after the turnover. Toledo up 6. Rockets nearly give it away again, but a foul called on Treader. She reached in to knock the inbound pass away from Garcia, but went down on the floor in doing so. Then Garcia grabbed it and tried to go the other way, and Treader fouled her. And that will send the Rockets to the free throw line as they are in the bonus. So 2 shots upcoming here for Garcia. Treader called for her second. Miami doesn't really have anybody in foul trouble thanks to how little they fouled through the opening 3 quarters of this game. Garcia's first free throw in and out. She's 83% on the year, second only to Sophia Wired on this team. Second one on the way, and that one is perfect. Katie Richardson comes in for Amber Treader. Rockets lead by 7 with 3:22 to go in the fourth. And Miami will get it in. Toledo applying some light pressure here, and the Redhawks get it across the timeline on the right wing. Scott got trapped, able to get it out, though, and Miami can now get into the half-court set. 59-52 the score. Scott from straight away. Finds her sister Jada on the near side. Now up top, it's Richardson just inside the arc. Bounces in for Scott. Turnaround jumper off the glass is too strong. Rockets get the board. Wired ahead, crosses the timeline on the right side. Saw how methodical Toledo was prior to that timeout. Look to see if they continue to work this clock. They're attacking a little earlier in the possession right now. Not going to put up a shot, though, and now Wired will pull it back to the logo with 10 to shoot. Wired to the near side, guarded by Scott, comes around a screen, steps back, open for three straight away, and she won't miss it. Wired now 5 for 6 from deep in this game, and that's the first double-digit lead for the Rockets as they lead 62-52. Richardson in for Scott. Jada Scott high off the glass, can't finish with the right hand. Rebound collected by Mink Conowitz. 2:05 remains in the fourth quarter, and Toledo leading by 10. Garcia from just inside the arc. Out for Wired on the left side with 13 left to shoot. Wired directs, crosses over, heads down the left lane, kicks. Garcia for three, and it's pure. Toledo's been absolutely shooting the lights out from beyond the arc in this game. 12 for 30. And a timeout by Glenn Box with his team now facing their largest deficit with just over 100 seconds left on the clock. Miami kept this game very close for a very long time. But Toledo has opened this up to a 13-point game with 1:44 to go. Thanks to some timely shooting from Sophia Wired. And the latest coming from Nan Garcia. Again, the Rockets came into this game, it was pretty much all inside was where they were getting it done. Glenn Box praised their guard play coming in, but it wasn't necessarily a lot of three-point shooting from their guards. It was stuff in the mid-range and a lot of points in the paint, as we mentioned. 50 out of the 94 they scored against Hillsdale came from inside. They came in 11th out of 12 teams in the MAC in three-point percentage at 27.7%. And they have hit 12 out of 30 attempts for an even 40% on the game here tonight. Ben Wiersbe gathers the troops around him, has some words before Glenn Box takes over in the Miami huddle. Officials are at the monitor. The media timeout has returned. But officials are looking at something here. Try to get a look at what the officials are looking at here. Now the official's going to come away from the monitor and signals that the basket is good. No indication as to why it may not have been potentially, but nothing's going to change. 1 minute and 44 seconds left on the clock. Toledo 65, Miami 52. Redhawks get it in. There's an Arrhenius buzzer as we're back going, and the Redhawks get it across the timeline on the left wing. Treader out for Jorho. Minute and a half to go. Miami's got to pick up the pace a little bit, down 13. Jorho into the corner for Edwards, steps back, tried to throw up a three, and she got rejected by Renat, who blocks and then snatches, and Toledo will carry it the other way into the front court. 75 seconds remaining, Rockets by 13. Ghosts for Wired on the far side, comes off a screen to the elbow, pulls up from the free throw line and hits another. 23 points for Sophia Wired. Now 3 straight games with 20 plus. Previously had none. Timeout Miami as they get it into the front court. Rockets lead by 15. Can you believe it? After Miami had this within 2 possessions pretty much the whole way. So it's 67 to 52 now with 55.3 seconds to go. Glenn Box has one more timeout left to use. Ball back into play. Jorho circles the court, gets into the paint, tried to leave it off for Scott and coughed it up. Garcia grabs it away. Wired up the floor. Miami not fouling here, down 15. Shot and game clock separated by 18 seconds as the Rockets can dribble this one down. We'll have to put up one final shot. Leading by 15. It's a three, and it's in by Sophia Wired. Why not another? She's been dumping them in huge numbers. A steal the other way from Garcia on Scott, and the Rockets can take this one across the timeline and dribble it out. My goodness, Sophia Wired took this game over 26 points, and despite Miami's efforts, they played about as well as they could have for about 37 minutes. This is going to look a little uglier than it was in reality. It's an 18-point win for the Toledo Rockets on the road as time expires. Sophia Wired in place of the Rockets' star player in Quenisha Lockett, who's been out with an injury for the last few weeks, comes through with a 26-point performance on the road, and the Rockets win their MAC opener 70-52. For Miami, they're not getting the results. Things continue to improve for this Red Hawk team as looked like this Rocket team going in had Miami a little overmatched. Miami did not look that way on the floor, even though that's what the scoreboard might have said. Toledo opened this game up late. It was a 2-possession game with about 2 minutes to play before ending an 18-point Rocket victory. Miami 2-9 now on the season. They dropped to 0-1 in the Mid-American Conference. The Redhawks will be back in action in DeKalb at Northern Illinois coming up this Saturday at 2 p.m. as Toledo will be back in action against Eastern Michigan on the road on Saturday at 1. We'll be back here exactly 1 week from tonight. That's next Wednesday, January the 10th, as the Miami women are back in action, and we begin a packed week of Red Hawk Radio action for you. That night, the Miami women host the Golden Flashes of Kent State here at 7 p.m., and we hope you will join us next Wednesday night. So until then, for the rest of our great Red Hawk Radio crew, I'm Luke Westpoley saying so long from Millett Hall, where our final score is Toledo 70 and Miami 52. Thanks for tuning into this presentation of Miami basketball on Red Hawk Radio. We'll see you next time.